my friends, seekers of the truth that breathes just beneath the surface of the commonplace, I greet you. Look about you this day. See the clamor, the rush, the endless frantic energy expended upon trifles. What is the great struggle of man? Is it not the struggle to master the world? We labor under the sun. We build our cities of stone and glass. We chart the stars and plumb the depths of the ocean, all in a grand, magnificent, yet often melancholy attempt to assert our dominion over the raw, unyielding face of nature. But I ask you, where lies the true dominion? Where is the kingdom that, once secured, renders all external battles null? It is not in the lands you possess, nor in the gold you count, nor even in the reputation whispered about you in the halls of men. It lies precisely in the one place you most resolutely refuse to look, within the confines of your own small, fevered self. The title of our meditation today is a paradox, a knot of wisdom that once untied releases a torrent of living water. To master the world, first unlearn your ego.
What is this ego I speak of? It is not merely a word of the schools, a dusty concept from the lecture hall. It is that tireless, cunning little clerk within you, the one who keeps meticulous ledgers of offense and victory, of past glories and future anxieties. It is the gatekeeper who insists that your world is a fortress built for your singular comfort and defense, separate from the great, flowing river of existence. It is the fierce, small voice that cries, "I am distinct, I am separate, I must have and I must control." Look at the trees in the field, my friends. Do they spend their days calculating how much rain they have earned? Do they worry if the maple across the stream has finer autumn colors? No, they simply are. They draw sustenance from the universal root, they surrender to the seasonal tides, and in that surrender, in that perfect self-reliance and lack of fretful self-assertion, they achieve a mastery of their domain that your anxious, striving consciousness can never touch. The great illusion of our age, and of every age, is that the world is a thing to be seized, broken to our will, and then safely encased within the box of our desire. We stand as a solitary lamp on a vast dark plain, and we insist that our tiny circle of light is all that truly exists. This separation, this insistence upon the I as a sovereign nation independent of the great continental soul, is the source of all our weariness. Consider the simple act of rowing a boat against a swift current. The ego, this strenuous, controlling self, dictates that you must fight, that you must strain every muscle, that victory belongs to the sheer force of your will. And what is the result? Exhaustion, bitterness, and the weary realization that for every foot gained, the current has robbed you of two. Now, imagine the wisdom of unlearning. Imagine releasing the desperate grip of the small will. What if you allowed the current to carry you, not aimlessly, but with the subtle, deep intelligence of one who knows the river's turns? What if you learned to feel the flow, to use the smallest dip of the oar to guide rather than command? You would cover more distance, with less effort, and arrive not depleted, but enriched by the journey itself. Mastery is not fighting the current, it is becoming the current. This unlearning, this letting go of the ego's frantic bookkeeping, is not laziness. It is the deepest form of self-reliance I know. For the man who relies on his small, conditioned self is constantly failing. His mood is determined by the last conversation, his happiness by the next transaction. But the man who unlearns this petty proprietor within him, the man who relies on the vast, impersonal, eternal oversoul that flows through him and through all things, that man is truly powerful. He has ceased to draw his strength from a shallow well and has plugged his spirit directly into the infinite ocean. To unlearn the ego is to abandon the need to explain yourself. The moment you feel the urgent need to justify your actions, your choices, or your very being to the world, you are bowing before the small clerk of the ego. True self-reliance requires no defense. It simply is, like the mountain or the sky. Does the oak tree apologize for its size? Does the sun explain the necessity of its rising? No. They simply pour forth their essence, and the world is the richer for it. When we cease to chase approval, when we drop the need to have our identity ratified by the fleeting opinions of others, we release an enormous reservoir of energy that was previously spent on mere maintenance of our own false front. The ego is a tireless sculptor, perpetually trying to carve a perfect statue of the self, one that will stand eternally flawless against the wind of time. But time does not stop, and the wind always blows. The true self, however, is not a statue. It is the living air itself, formless, omnipresent, and utterly untouched by the decay of matter. To master the world, you must first stop seeking to be the hero of your own story and simply become the witness of the great universal drama that unfolds through you. This shift is the grand emancipation.